Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today, September 27th, and the top crypto news is as follows, and we will start with the ETFs. On September 25th, we had outflows of $253 million. On September 26th, without BlackRock, we have outflows of $381 million. For Ethereum ETFs on September 25th, we had outflows of $251 million. And on September 26th, without BlackRock, we have outflows of $48 million. Continuing with the companies, we go to Vanguard, which is a monster like BlackRock and one of the few companies that can be compared to BlackRock. It is the only one that does not want to have an ETF like BlackRock and other big companies. However, it sounds, without being official, that they also want to access ETFs and create their own Vanguard ETFs for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, so of course they would come sooner or later. Continuing with another company today, we go to AlphaTON, which is constantly buying Toncoin and has bought another $30 million in this currency. Moving on to our exchanges, we start with DeFi and go to World Liberty Finance, the DeFi supported by the President of the United States, in which we learn that a proposal has passed. This DeFi will buy its coins and burn them to help the price, as they say. And now you will tell me, obviously, and the sword fight has passed, because as we saw 14 days ago on Crypto News, only 2 whales were enough to pass this sword fight, as the 2 whales had more than 51% of the votes, so it does not surprise us. Moving on, we go to Kraken, which, as you know from Crypto News, is planning its own IPO. It hasn't announced it yet, but we know it's coming. It's already closed $500 million in funding, and now Kraken is valued at $15 billion. Let's assume that Kraken hasn't made any statement about the event, nor about the IPO, but it's in the works. For our last exchange today, we go to KuCoin, which was slapped with a $14 million anti-money laundering penalty from a Canadian financial regulator. KuCoin has filed an appeal after getting slapped with a $14 million anti-money laundering penalty from a Canadian financial regulator. Moving on to our cryptocurrencies, we go to Grayscale, which has prepared a list of the top 20 tokens that recorded the best returns in Q3 2025. This is the list you can find in the sources where I have everything, and the best coin based on Grayscale for Q3 2025 is BNB, the Binance coin, which, as we said in Crypto News, hit a new all-time high. And moving on to our cryptocurrencies, go to something very interesting that I don't know if it's true. Let's say we're referring to Ethereum Layer 2, Linea, where it sounds like Swift, which is essentially a global messaging network between banks for the purpose of transferring money from one to another, is experimenting with entering the blockchain, as we knew it would happen. However, all of this is said to be happening in Ethereum Layer 2, Linea, as a way to slowly enter the blockchain. This is what the big whale told us in a publication regarding this particular currency. For those who don't know, it's right here, a currency that hasn't even been around for a month yet. The difference from other Layer 2s is that this one was created by Consensus, a company that started building Ethereum and now has MetaMask as one of its main products, so it definitely has some big players behind it. And now it's time to head to our beloved crypto market, with Bitcoin holding steady at $109,000. Given that it's the weekend, we probably won't see much movement. The latest economic data is the annualized PCE, which is a measure of how much money people spend on their everyday needs and services. This came in at 2.6%, was expected at 2.7%, and came in at 2.7%. However, the crypto market was not impressed by these numbers at all. That wraps up the top news for crypto today, September 27th. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.